Kia ora everyone and welcome to Spooktober, where we cover some LEGO sets based on the scariest releases. It's the 10th anniversary of the LEGO Scooby Doo line, a LEGO theme that was severely underrated at the time, and it has now gone down as one of the more desired licensed themes. This here on screen is every LEGO Scooby Doo release, some sets being my own purchase and some were borrowed from someone very close to me. Thanks to her for lending me these releases. I don't think I'll be able to cover all of these sets, but I'm going to try and cover as many as I can in the month, and the first set that we're looking at here is the smallest one of the wave, so it should be nice and short. This here is set 75900, Mummy Museum Mystery. It released in 2015, containing just 110 pieces in total, with 3 minifigures, one of which being exclusive. This retailed back in the day for the price of just $14.99 USD before tax. Here in NZ we paid $25 NZD, and that was the standard price for a small release of this size. How I wish that these types of sets released still today. Now currently in the aftermarket space though, all of these sets have increased by quite a bit. You're looking at around $125 NZD sealed, or $85 NZD in second-hand condition. Jeepers! The set overview here is a very small museum display stand with some ghoulish intent. A quick word on the theme as a whole: I'm no Scooby Doo expert, my best friend is, and I really wish she was here helping me out with this. As far as I'm aware, what we discussed was that these sets aren't entirely based on actual events from movies or TV shows, they're rather just general ideas or reinterpretations. Some of the villain characters and scenarios have been lifted directly from source material, but there's some fun elements here that LEGO have included so that it's kind of their own doing, and that's very fitting for a LEGO theme that's based on a Warner Brothers property, because the LEGO DC and Batman line basically received the exact same kind of treatment. And there's a couple of Egyptian themed capers for the Mystery Incorporated gang, so it's a fitting release too. And while I'm no expert on Scooby Doo, I do love this theme quite a lot. It feels like it was built for me just because of how much I love the horror aspects of LEGO releases. I've already covered the Monster Fighters line some years back for those who want to check those sets out, some really stellar releases there as well. And maybe in a couple of years I can take a look at some hidden side stuff too, because that was a really cool theme. I think we kind of let that go too soon. We'll get started by taking a look at the build here and then the minifigures and the final verdict. I don't know how many times I've talked about older, smaller set releases before without bringing up how much I miss them for the modern day consumers. For a casual audience member, this meant everything. You had a great small playset build here that was affordable and the two most important named characters for your display. And for gift giving, these types of sets were vital, but it just doesn't seem like it's a market that LEGO are trying to target these days. For something so small, you've got some great details there, like a red carpet display base there for the artifact. You've also got some gold sprinkled all throughout for the Egyptian theming for the stand. It's using a sarcophagus piece there. That idea has been used throughout many sets in the past, though apparently this sarcophagus is exclusive to this set. We've also got some cool stickers there of some idol showcasing. We've got a gem and some hieroglyphics there, and on the other side, a reference actually to a famous treasure hunter dated as 1922. The treasure hunter there is actually Johnny Thunder from the original LEGO theme LEGO Adventures. This was awesome to discover because I'm not used to seeing LEGO sets referencing original themes in their licensed releases. As for some extra details there, you've got some cool tusk-like parts there on some movable hinges, and I always really love when LEGO use 2 shades of tan for their desert-vibed builds. The back of the display there features a burger type lever. Burgers are often found across all of these sets. I believe the story for this is that Shaggy and Scooby are hallucinating food. They're going to pull on this burger there and release the trap. I've always loved the burger builds in these sets. We've got a bun there with some sesame seeds, which was made just for this line. The bottom bun there is a flat tile with a hole in the middle so that minifigures can carry the piece. We can also see some green and red studs there for the filling, which could be a link towards Shaggy being a vegetarian, a request from the voice actor Casey Kasem. Here's another example of a burger being used in a future set so that you can see how the minifigures can hold on to that food item. If we pull on that string there, it releases the sarcophagus, which reveals the villain inclusion being displayed inside. He just stands there in place. Usually the sarcophagus piece includes a lower half, but in this set there's really no need. The final play feature for this build is the hidden compartment there, which reveals some gems inside under the display case. You've got green, red and blue gems there for the gang to be displayed with. The minifigures for this set are pretty solid. Shaggy and Scooby are of course your ideal picks for a mass appealing set, and the exclusive villain character here repeats a classic LEGO idea, but to a rather unique degree. So this here is Scooby Doo, the character included in every release with something fresh about him almost every time. Be sure to stick around over the coming weeks to see the other special variants of him. The dog mold there was a fresh new design for this guy, featuring some really cool design details that even showcase some articulation. These are the types of releases I think often leads LEGO purists feeling rather mixed on these minifigs. He looks pretty far from being considered to be LEGO, with only the stud on his back being the obvious connection to the brand. I've always really loved weird and special molds like this personally though, but I can see why some people might feel iffy on a release like this. As for those variants, this is Scooby Doo in his standing position. The other releases occasionally saw him in a seated position, which we will be looking at later on in the series. The other special part of Scooby Doo there is the headpiece. Most of the figures featured something rather unique there. The body was released in 4 sets in total, with the casual head releasing in only 2. For those who don't know how Scooby Doo here works, he needs at least 3 or 4 studs to be standing on Lego plates. Even then though, his body is going to exceed that with his tail and his head. The head can also be removed entirely, which allows you to move that piece around. I think Scooby Doo is a very iconic figure here, but because Brickset doesn't list him as a minifig, it's a bit tricky to determine an aftermarket price for the pup named Scooby Doo. Now Bricklink does have some prices for the individual parts. We can see here there really is some value in just the head alone for the Great Dane. They estimate that this figure specifically is worth maybe around $15 NZD. And then next up is Norval Shaggy Rogers. He's actually the second minifigure who appears in every single Lego set here alongside Scooby Doo, so we better get used to seeing both of them. I love when cartoon characters are adapted into Lego. I think they did a really good job here with this release. He does feel a bit more simplistic in his stylings, especially when we compare him to the other Mystery Inc minifigs, given the no printing for his legs there, but the only thing that Lego could have done was maybe print on some black shoes for him, and I don't think we were really there yet with some shoe printing. I mean, hell, even today we still aren't. Lego only do it on the odd occasion, usually for a CMF release. And Shaggy here features the accessories of a clue. Every set included something in the form of some sort of a clue to help the gang solving their cases. The best aspect of Shaggy though is that hairpiece. Oh, it's so cool. It was made specifically for him at the time of this release, and to this day has only ever been used in one other set, being recently recolored to be white for Geppetto in the Lego Ideas Disney release. Now Shaggy features a great face print there with a small amount of facial hair and a double-sided expression that helps show off a scared and worried look. Since Shaggy is included in every release, we're looking out for some unique face prints between the figures. Now this face print here was released in just 3 sets in total, 2 of them being from this line and 1 was also used for the Shaggy figure in the LEGO Dimensions release. So his value is lowish compared to others in the toy line, but surprisingly affordable for a now retired minifigure, currently listed between being as low as $8 NZD or as high as around $17 NZD right now in the aftermarket space. And then this here is the Mummy minifigure, who repeats the classic Lego Mummy idea from countless other releases, but features a brand new spin with the prints and the headdress. All of those parts there were only ever made for this release, which is what makes them so exclusive. I do really like the extra printing that Lego have done on the headdress there, which they really didn't need to do, and otherwise he feels very familiar to me based on the CMF releases and the Adventures line, and even the Pharaoh's Quest releases too. If I remove the headdress there, it shows the special details underneath there not actually being a mummy, but instead Dr. Najib, a human face there showing that it was a monster mask all along. So this here is Dr. Najib, who disguises himself as a mummy character in the episode Scooby Doo and a Mummy 2 from Scooby Doo Where Are You? I guess these sets are more linked to the source material than I originally thought, so I'm excited to learn more as we go. And I really love the design idea of including some enemy faces on the minifigs here. I think it looks great. The flesh tones and the expressions, they're all amazing to see. I just wish we had these face prints on as regular heads as well, because they'd just be so useful for my customs. He is the true exclusive here for the set, so his price is higher than the other figures, currently valued between $11 to $19 NZD right now in the aftermarket space. Unfortunately, I do not have the box or the instructions for every LEGO Scooby Doo release, only for the Mystery Machine and the Castle, so with that being said, we'll jump straight to the final verdict. Overall, I just fell in love with building this set. If you were to collect all of these, then there probably isn't too much here on offer to attract all audiences, but if you were to collect a one and done release, you can't get any better than this. It was a cheap release at the time, and it included the 2 iconic shining stars from the IP, with a design aesthetic that I also really adored. Honestly, every set from this line is amazing, but this one just felt really special to me. I wish LEGO would make more $25 NZD sets for the themes that I love today. They just simply do not make them like they used to. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO Scooby Doo release, liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Ka kite anō, take care, and I hope to see you all next time.